Expected answer.
Yeah, it's going good. It's going good. How about you?
Wonderful, wonderful. Always striving, always busy working. So, guys, in case someone may have noticed, in case someone has not noticed, there is a new person in here named Jawad. He's gonna be your second sales coach. That is also gonna work with Ethan to just make you better at sales. Jawad, if you want to introduce yourself, feel free to do so. If not, no one needs to know.
No, I'll give a small introduction. I've been in sales for like 6 years now. I have done millions of dollars in sales over my career. I've ran my own agency. For context, I ran actually 3 agencies in my lifetime. One of them obviously being a sales agency. But yeah, started like most people in SMMA and then transitioned out more into sales. So yeah, that's all you need to know. And that's all you're going to get out of me because we're here to make you better, not talk about me and my accomplishments.
Yes. And in that manner, I'm just gonna be here as a ghost, looking if everything works fine. If anyone is gonna have any questions besides sales, keep it for the next call. This is only about sales. Jawad is here to make you better at sales. And from my understanding, the agenda of today's call is just gonna be objection handling. So Jawad, you know what to do. What I would recommend, if you want to just a role play, and probably either they gonna give you the objections or sorry, you're gonna give them the objections, or you can pick, for example, two people. They can object each other with the objection you're gonna give them. You have 500 objections on your in your head, from what I remember, what I tested when I tested you about it, and then you can just see where do they fuck up, what can be handled better. That's the idea.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll take it from here. That's fine. Okay. One question. What would you say is the most common objection that you deal with, and how? I'm just gonna start with an icebreaker here, just so I have an understanding. I want everybody to go. I know Nika mentioned that you can't talk, so maybe just throw it into the chat. But I'll start with Kevin. Just give me what's an objection that you feel like you can't handle. Let's just go with that.
I'd say probably something like, oh, we're not actually looking to implement this now. We're looking to implement it in like a few months.
Okay. What about you, Arjun?
Yeah, it's also the same. Like more the meetings that I've attended, like they also have the same exact question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Adam?
I would say like not maybe that they're gonna want to implement in some time, but about testimonials, how like go around it that I don't have actually testimonials right now.
Okay, that's a very good one. That's something a lot of people deal with. So we're gonna work on that one. Abu Bakr, sorry. Misread that.
Oh, that's okay. Thank you. Yeah, maybe the fact that they just actually can't afford it at the time.
Okay, that's a good one. I
Yeah.
know how to overcome that. We're gonna make you so good that they're gonna ask their neighbor if they have to.
Okay.
All right, Stefan, what's up? What would you say you have challenges with?
Mostly that when I explained it to a retainer, they say, "Oh, I can't afford it every month." Yeah, and most of them say it's too pricey.
Okay, let's start with it's too pricey because this is one that people deal with and they don't know how to actually handle it. Okay, Stephanie, I want you to do a role play with me quickly here. Okay, I'm the prospect, so I'm gonna tell you. So I just want to see what your level's at. I know I'm putting you on the hot seat here, but this is what sales is all about, man. You got to be ready at all times. So, I'm the prospect. Do a price drop, whatever your service charges are. Just give me the price. I'm gonna ask you how much it costs, and then do the price drop, and then I'm gonna say it's too pricey, and then show me how you actually handle that. Well, that sounds all great, man, Stefan, and I really like your services, but how much does it cost?
Yeah, so we have two different offers. So we have a setup fee that's $2,500 one-time fee and 800 a month retainer. So and the other offer is 200 per lead we bring you or appointment we can bring you. So you can choose between them what's better for you.
Yeah, I like everything you said like earlier, but like the price is too high.
No, I completely understand. Bread nowadays is expensive, isn't it? But you think-
Wrong. I'm gonna cut you off. Sorry, I'm a bit strict. Could somebody tell me where right in the beginning he made a mistake? What was it? Who can tell me? Yeah, what's up, Kevin?
He said it was expensive, which is not what you should say, right?
Technically, he started correct. So who can tell me what he did right and who can tell me what he did wrong? Let's start with what he did right. By the way, David, in case you're completely lost and confused,
Yeah.
I'm a sales coach. I'm coaching you guys. That's all you need to know.
Nice to meet you.
I'll reintroduce myself at the end of the call. That's fine. Just don't be confused. We're doing a role play here on how to handle the objection if someone says your price is too high.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so the first thing he did right, okay, to save time here, he agreed. I want you guys to imagine this. If two people, these are two different people's hands, okay? I want you to imagine that. If two people do this, what's happening? It's friction. It's gonna be pushed. But what happens once you grab somebody's hand and you start pushing them? There's no friction. So you need to start by agreeing. Because as soon as you disagree with someone, do you know what the first thing they do? Ego. Their ego comes in. They have to be right. Someone has to be right. And you have to beat their ego. And the best way to beat someone's ego is to agree with them. So when someone says your price is too high, yes, it is. Do you want to know why it's so high? Now what you've done is you've handled the objection with a question. See, objections are simply opportunities to sell your service more. So the next time someone is like, your price is too high, accept it. Yeah, it is. Do you want to know why though? Because now, because you've agreed with them, they're not in defense mode. Now you can bring it back to why your service is the best, and you can bring it back to their pain points, and you can bring it back to all the things that you discussed in the discovery. Now that brings me to the other point. All objections, 99% of objections can be handled in the discovery if you do it right. If you do the discovery wrong, you're going to mess up at the end. That's how these things work. There was a theme, okay? So I started with Kevin. Kevin, are you there or did you go?
Yep.
Okay. You said the main objection you deal with is what? You said it's, how did you word it? I just want you to say
They
it.
said like they're not willing to implement it now. They're looking for something like in a few months.
Okay. Just so I have context, do you do cold outreach and then book these people onto meetings, or are you
Yeah.
running ads? What's kind of your approach? Give me
Cold
just
calling. And then I book
Cold
them
call.
from there.
Okay. First of all, these things should usually be talked about in the discovery.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, well,
This-
that's usually that's what I
this
started
is what-
doing now.
Yeah, so this is what's called preemptive objection handling. So what that means is you have to eliminate certain things right in the beginning of the call. For example, business partners. Hey, before we get started, Kevin, I just want to make sure, is any business partner going to be joining us? Boom. Right there, you've asked it in an indirect way without having to say, hey, is there a business partner? You don't need to ask like that. Is there a business partner joining us, or are you the sole decision maker here? Boom, they said yes, you move on. This is how you preemptively. Now you said, does this usually come up in the actual discovery?
Yeah, now I started bringing it up after I was getting these objections.
Okay. And how do you deal with it now? So let's do a role play and I'll teach you how to overcome it on the spot right now. Okay, let's do a role play. I'm the prospect. Okay. And I've showed up to the call.
Yeah. Okay, so I would say, hey, Jawad. Yeah, so before we get into this, is this some system something you're looking to implement in a week, 2 weeks, or as soon as possible?
I mean, look, man, I'm just shopping around right now. Our idea is maybe implement this in some time. There's not really like a timeline on it, but we're just looking at the options right now.
Okay. And how long have you actually been shopping around for?
Like a couple weeks, maybe 1 week, 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I mean, I'm assuming you've seen a few other systems at this point. What is it that you're actually looking for in a system that is
Okay,
different than the rest?
okay, I'm gonna cut you off right there. Number one, you never make an assumption. In sales, you never make an assumption. As soon as you assume, I want all of you to write that down. Never make an assumption in sales. I need you to ingrain that in your mind. As soon as you make an assumption, do you know what the prospect thinks? This guy doesn't care about me. This person this guy or girl, whoever, they don't care about me. They just care about selling me. And they're leading the call. Never make an assumption. As soon as you make an assumption, someone feels like they're not being heard. So especially never use, get the word I'm assuming, this phrase, just get it out of your vocabulary if you want to be successful at sales. Completely. Similarly, and I'll explain this in a couple minutes, but get I disagree. Some words that create friction, you need to eliminate them. So for example, we were talking about earlier, the pricing objection. If somebody says your price is too high, some people, they will agree. They'll say exactly like I told you to agree. They'll be like, yeah, I agree, but never say that. Because a but statement makes it as if you're actually disagreeing. So it completely negates the yes, I agree. Because now it makes it seem like you're disagreeing. Okay, so I want to do that again, except I'm going to tell you how to do it, and then I want you to do it, okay? And then I'm going to actually do it after you. So I'm going to actually play the salesperson, and then I'm going to show you. But I want you to first attempt it. So here's the thing. If somebody says that they're not, that they're not looking to implement right now, the major question should be, if they're not looking to implement right now, what made them hop onto the call? That's where you need to redirect them to. Because look, remember one thing. Do you go to the doctor's 3 months before you get a cough? Or do you go there when you get a cough?
I mean, yeah, that's true.
Think about anybody who's hopping on a call with you, for whatever service it is, they're interested. Now, here's the question. Who can answer this one? You get this right, you'll be in my good books as a coach. Okay? The question is this. Why would someone say they're shopping around? What's really happening here? What are they trying to do on the sales call?
Trying to say, maybe they want to say like, oh, some other company's doing the same thing, but it's a lower price.
Maybe. But what are they trying to achieve psychologically? Yes, no.
Lowering the price.
They're trying to not move up as much. They're trying to like withhold information.
It's in one word. They're trying to gain leverage over the salesperson. Why? Because when they tell you that they're shopping around, or when they tell you that they're not looking to buy right now, it takes 100% leverage out of your hands as a salesperson. Why? Because it makes it seem as if they don't need your service. And now, at the end of the call, they can make whatever decision they want. What they're trying to do is they're trying to open the door for themselves to leave at any point. So for example, as soon as you tell them the price, they'll be like, oh, Kevin, I told you, you know, I'm just shopping around. Ha 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 ha. Okay, I'm out. And they'll leave. They're trying to just gain leverage over you. But remember, anybody who's hopping on a call with you, you are the doctor and they are the patient. I want you to write that down. You are the doctor and they are the patient. They're coming to you for medicine. They're coming to you for a solution. If they leave that call without the remedy medicine, that's on you. Let me ask you a question. Does anybody leave the doctor's office coming up with excuses on why they can't buy the medicine? Guys, I know some of the most broke people I've met in my life, and they buy medicine every single month. I'm talking about dirt broke, guys, like absolute like broke. And every month somehow they're affording some of the most expensive medicines for some of the most expensive treatments that they're going through. How is it possible that the doctor doesn't need to do objection handling? It's because they have the frame. Your frame isn't right. And how do you set that frame? Here's one thing that you could always do, and I love doing this. Give me a niche. One of you give me a niche. Just say it.
Real estate.
I heard real estate. Did I hear multiple real estates? Okay, let's just go with real estate. Imagine you're on a call with the real estate agent. Right in the beginning of the call, you could say, look, Abu Bakr, you're the real estate agent. And just like you wouldn't want me coming into your office and telling you how to do what you do, I'm going to expect that on this call, I'm the expert in marketing. And I'm just going to educate you. And I want you to come in with that mindset that I'm educating you on how you can improve your business as a real estate agent. All right? Now, what that does is it preemptively frames them with the mindset that you're the expert and they need to humble themselves. Because let me tell you something about real estate agents. By the way, I've sold 2 real estate agents for 2 different agencies. One of the biggest things that you deal with is what? Oh, I've been in the business for 22 years. I know everything. You don't need to tell me anything. Just give me the price. Oh, you guys are a dime a dozen. I've heard it all. I've been cussed out. I've heard it all, guys. So, but it's the framing. And by the way, before we continue, how do you deal with a rough prospect? We're gonna go back to the objection that we were dealing with, Kevin. Don't worry. Yeah, what were you gonna say, Kevin?
Yeah, I just had another question. Are you going to be doing like the thing where you're joining our sales calls like Ethan does?
We'll see. We'll see.
Okay.
Ernest will let you know what's going on. Okay. Again, like he said, we're just here for sales and training sales. Any of those questions, leave them for after. Okay. How do you deal with the prospect who hops on and says, I know everything. Just give me the price. Tell me what you do. Who wants to take on this challenge? How do you deal with them? This is what we like to call sharks. In door-to-door sales, they call them sharks. They
Maybe
eat you
something
alive.
like okay, like I'm happy to end the call if you're not interested.
That's bullshit, bro. You work so hard, you got them onto a Zoom call, and you're just gonna give up that easily, bro? Like, bro, I'm gonna call you out on that. That's kind of bullshit, right? That's like a
Well,
doctor's.
not actually
No,
ending the call,
wait. That's like somebody coming into the doctor's office and then the doctor's just like, if you don't really want help, get the hell out of my office. It's like the doctor's not gonna kick anybody out. You never open that door, guys. You never open that door for them to leave. Never. Once they're on that Zoom call, guys, one of my mentors, Sean, he used to say, if you're not one call closing on Zoom, you're an idiot. He said, you are working so hard to get people on a call, and you're gonna let them go without taking their credit card out? You need to close them. Always be closing. You know ABC, always be closing. You cannot let somebody leave without paying. Okay, let's go back to that objection. Repeat it again, Kevin, just so everybody's on the same page.
Yeah, I don't think I'm looking to implement this now. I think this is maybe something for next year, maybe a few months.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Just one question, though. Why'd you book the call then?
Well, I've just been shopping around. I don't really have the budget right now to really implement something, but I'm just looking for something to start off next year with.
Okay. And what specifically made you book with us?
Well, you guys called me.
Okay. And did you get a chance to check anything out?
No, I did not.
For context, do you usually send information over or no? Because that's a
No, usually I don't.
okay. That's a huge point, right? So between you booking and them coming, do you nurture any of your leads?
I mean, I just have the automated follow-up text, but that's about it.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. Okay, I didn't have that context. I'm used to a different sales process. Usually you should be doing some type of sending them case study, something, just keeping them
Mhm.
warmed up. Which, by the way, is a good point, guys. If someone books a call with you, you should be engaging with them between the point of booking and the point that they show up. You should at least have 1 or 2 touch points, even if it's just one day. Like, let's just say you call someone today and you book them tomorrow. You should at least have 1 or 2 touch points. It could be something as simple as, hey, this is what we do, just a reminder. These are the results we've gotten. It could be something as simple as that. Here's one testimony. I just want to send this one testimony over to you. You could be like, hey, I have no testimonials. Somebody's like, someone mentioned, I have no testimonials. What do I do? That's where the sales process completely changes, by the way, if you have no testimony. Who said they have no testimonials? I want to actually cover that before we
I don't
actually.
have any.
Yeah, it's me.
Okay. Do they, is that usually a huge concern?
I have not done yet too many calls to actually like calculate it if it's a big issue or not. But I feel like it could be if the amount of the sales call would be higher.
Okay. Okay. Again, I don't want to lose track. I just, okay. Okay. Kevin, the way that you should be handling this, if somebody's not willing to buy now, is to create urgency. Now, who knows how to create urgency on a sales call? This is the only way that you're able to sell someone, is to create urgency. It's by asking them questions that create urgency. What do I mean by that? Kevin, let's give it another shot. I want you to just repeat the statement. I'm not looking to implement this right now.
I'm not looking to implement this right now.
Okay. So what made you book a call?
Well, you guys called me.
Absolutely. And When do you want to implement this?
I was thinking maybe next year.
Okay. So is it safe to assume business is going amazing right now and you're hitting all of your goals and living your dream life?
Well, not exactly. It's usually slower around this time of year.
So I'm a little confused. Could you kind of fill me in here? You said you want to implement this next year, but business is slow now. So
Yes.
I don't want to speak out of line here, but wouldn't you say implementing now would be the priority when business is already slow? Checkmate.
Well,
That's what you call a checkmate. So the point is what? You create urgency by asking the right questions. And that is, why do they even want your service in the first point? Why did they come? What's the outcome they want? Okay. What would I do for them? I didn't even go deep on that one. I could have gone way deeper. What is your goal? Why do you want it? How is it going to change your life? What would it do for you? Like, these are all urgency questions. First, you make them live the dream. I don't know how familiar you guys are with 7 levels, but one of my mentors, all right, Kevin, have a good one. But one of my mentors, he was actually one of the first people who came up with 7 levels. If you're familiar with Jeremy Minor, RIP to my coach, he died in 2020. But essentially, in 7 levels, they say one of the levels is to show the dream and then take it away. All right, Arjun, wake up, unmute. It's time to engage you.
Yeah.
Okay, now I want you to imagine,
Uh-huh.
okay, you're a real estate agent. You just told me, okay, same scenario. You just told me that, again, you're not looking to implement right now, okay? And I just asked you, I'm going to ask you questions now, and I want you to just live it. So I'm showing you guys what it means to show someone the carrot and then take it away from them. So what would it do for your real estate business, Arjun, if I was able to get 15 leads a month?
So, like, can you please repeat the question? Like, I didn't get the line. Like,
Yeah. So I'm asking you, so just stay in the role, don't come out of the role.
uh-huh.
So what would it do for your real estate business if I were to get you 10 leads a month, 15 leads a month? What would that do for you?
Yeah, it would be absolutely great because talking about the current situation of the business, like we are not in that state because talking about a monthly basis, we are only selling 2 properties on monthly basis. So it could add up, so, a lot of value in the business.
And what would that value do for you personally, Arjun? How would that impact your daily life, your income, and your family?
Yeah, it's going to be great because talking about my personal life, like how it's gonna affect, like it's gonna be great. But like I also have to think about the partner that I'm having right now, right? So I need to take a look like how we both are gonna manage that specific thing. Like this specific thing does actually fit into our budget or something. So I need to discuss this specific thing with my partner as well. But it's gonna add the value.
Okay, I'm gonna pause here. There's a reason. So I want you to just keep going with the dream aspect. I'm not trying to introduce new objections. So we'll come to the partner thing later, but
Okay.
I'm just trying to stick to the dream. I'm trying to show an example of exactly what it looks like.
Sure.
Okay. So, okay, you said that. And then
Mhm.
basically now I'm gonna line him up. Watch how I line him up to get rid of the whole entire dream. Hey Arjun, do you have someone like you mentioned you know, your family and personally it would be so good for you. Who's in your family, if you don't mind me asking?
So yeah, currently I'm having like should I be like totally
Make
hypothetical?
it up, bro. Make it up. Just go with it.
Yeah, so I'm having my wife and kids, and yeah, we are having a great time.
And how would your wife react when you come with, you know, a $100,000 check? You just listed houses, just sold them. What would her reaction be?
Absolutely, she will be really, you know, she'll be happy. We're gonna go out for a dinner, and you know, it's gonna be great. That is the thing.
But Arjun, what's gonna happen if you don't do this? What happens if you don't get those 10 to 15 listings?
That is the problem. Like, to be honest, like that's the real problem. Like, if I'm unable to take the, you know, the action right now, like I'm unable to react on this specific thing, then it's going to be a problem because like the business is going to be at that same specific.
You guys see it? You first reel them in, and as soon as he got so excited, he was in character. You saw Arjun got excited and everything. And then right the second he finished his statement, I came in and I said, but what happens if you don't get it? It brings the morale so down that inaction is painful for them. This is what's called showing the dream and taking it away from them. And trust me, if you do this on a sales call, I've seen people literally cry. Literally, I've had a prospect, she literally broke into tears and was like, can I just pay? And she, by the way, I didn't even finish my presentation. I was like halfway through it. Because she was just that much, she noticed in action, she couldn't depend on that. Right? Create urgency, guys. You have to create urgency, and then you have to show them the dream, create urgency, and then take it away. All right, David, wake up. What's going on, man?
Everything is good.
All right. Just in case, I know some people joined late, people are coming in and out. Just to fill you in, I am a sales coach now here, so that's
Okay, great.
it.
Yeah, so I had a
Okay.
meeting with Ethan, so that's why I'm later.
Yeah, no problem. Okay. What we're doing is everybody was kind of giving me an objection. Give me an objection that you have a hard time personally dealing with.
Okay, so what I personally experienced is someone who said he had to go to a meeting. So is that a good subject we could do?
So he had another meeting and he was on like a time leash, correct?
Yeah, he had to go.
Okay. Guys, remember one thing. Prospects will throw all the bullshit that they can towards you to do what? What was the word I used? Who can tell me? Don't say it out loud. What was the one word I said?
Leverage.
I said
Leverage.
to not say it, but okay,
Oh,
good.
okay.
Somebody's paying attention. Okay, leverage. Guys, they will say all this bullshit to you. And it's not to say there's no meeting. But remember, if they see value on that sales call, they will cancel everything else if they have to. And I'm telling you that because I have a sales call recording. So it's not some bullshit made up. I have a sales call recording where some woman, she said she has to go to the doctor's. She literally canceled the appointment on the sales call because she saw value in what I was selling. So again, the point is what? It's not to say those aren't valid excuses. It's to say you need to create the frame. Not only that, but actually sometimes it's actually a good thing that you're on a time leash. Why? Because they can't go on and on about BS because they know they're on a time leash as well. Who's dealt with that one prospect that just keeps going on and just talks for like the longest amount of time, and you're just sitting there like, when is this sales call gonna end? It feels like it's just never ending. Who's dealt with that? Put up your hand. Who knows how to control that? Because it's all about control. It's by bringing it back to the topic.
Like telling, okay, I think that's the thing that you're talking that's valuable, or some like okay, understand everything that he's saying, but just cut it off, agree with him that everything that he said, and ask him the next question, or like the question that we actually want to say.
Absolutely. So it's about making your questions direct. Now, David, in specifically the point when somebody is like, hey, I'm on a time leash here, I'm here for a short period of time. You just say, okay, that's great. We're gonna make it work.
Yeah,
And
so
then
he told me when he like 10 minutes before he had to go. That he had to go.
okay, so he's saying like literally he's going and then he just left.
Yeah, like 10 minutes he told me like 10 minutes that he had to go at the end of the call.
Okay, so you were 10 minutes into the call and then he
No,
said,
like an hour, like 50 minutes, and then when we had like 10 minutes left until the end of the meeting, he said he had to go. So 10 minutes in advance.
okay, who thinks 50 minutes is a good amount of time on a sales call? Who thinks that's too long? Who thinks that's too short? I want thoughts on this. Maja, give me thoughts. Do you think, is that how you say your name?
No, it's actually Maya. Oh, sorry.
Maya. Okay, my apologies. Clearly, I'm butchering names today. Okay. What do you think? 50 minutes on a call?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay, perfect. I think it's quite a lot. Like, to be honest, I had one call which was like 92 minutes, so it was like super long. But the rest of my calls were like around half an hour.
Okay. Adam, how long are your calls normally?
About in half an hour, I would say.
Amin?
Yeah, about 45 minutes.
45 minutes. Okay.
Can I add something?
1
To-
second.
To also, okay.
How long are yours usually, David? I was actually gonna come back to you, so.
Yeah, so it was my first one, and that was like 55 minutes,
Okay.
somewhere like that. But
Okay.
I had a
Now you
question.
ask your question, yeah.
Yeah, does that for the other people, does it include the discovery part, like asking the questions plus the presentation and all?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, the
then
whole part.
okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, then it may
Um,
be a long call.
Okay, so here's the thing. It depends on your sales style. You need to also understand what type of personality you have. Look, if your personality is the type, okay, where you look, in my opinion, 50 minutes, I don't know what, I'm just gonna call it bullshit. You're talking about for 50 minutes. Either that person was rambling too much, or either you were rambling and asking irrelevant questions. So it's either one or the other, right? Now, it also depends on your personality type. Look, if you're gonna go deep into pain and like just keep twisting the knife in pain for like 30 minutes, bro, you should have sold on like the 49th, 50th minute. As soon as they said I have to leave in 10 minutes, they should have been pulling out their credit card. What do I mean by that? By making them literally visualize the pain. What happens if they don't buy now? What happens to their kids? What happens to their cousin, their neighbor, literally their house, everything? Like make them live all that pain and then close it. By the way, pain sells like nothing else, guys. Do you know what sells greater than pain? It's
Emotion.
the avoidance of pain. Next time, think about what happens, okay? Next time you get one of these crazy objections, okay? I want you to make the prospect realize, okay, the pain they're gonna have to deal with when they don't have your service. Why is pharma the biggest in the world, doing billions, trillions? It's because of pain avoidance. When your prospect realizes, okay, that your service makes them avoid pain, it becomes a no-brainer. Yes, Amin, what's up?
Yes, but what if they have no pain and they just tell, yeah, everything is fine? It would just be a nice add-on. For example, I always sometimes also ask them what will happen if you don't reach that, and he says nothing, I will just change the business model, or nothing is working very good. It would just be like we would just achieve it quicker. I'm sure we will achieve it anyway, but so they have no real pain and they have only the desire a little bit.
What's up, Ismael?
I'm in. Turn on your fucking camera, you stupid pillock.
Yeah, I have to connect some cables.
Yeah, connect the bloody cable, bloody dis. And also, Nika. Oh, Nika, please, if you don't mind. I mean, you stupid idiot, put it on. Alonso's struggling. Thank you. Sorry, Karen.
Guys, so Amin, I think you joined the call a little bit late. I told everyone this, okay? And that is that people, they come onto these calls, okay? And they try to gain leverage. So what they'll tell you is a bunch of bullshit. But remember one thing, if someone is on a call, okay? If someone is on a call, it's because they're entertaining your service. The question, the example I gave is, do you go to the doctors 3 months in advance before you have a cough, or do you go when you have a cough? You go when you have a cough. It's the same exact thing. If someone didn't have a lead gen marketing issue, okay, they wouldn't come onto the call with you. It's just that simple. Let me give you an example, okay? My family business is HVAC. My dad gets marketing calls every single day. Do you know how many calls he entertains? That's good marketing because he doesn't need it. He's not entertaining anyone because he genuinely does not need it. So anybody who's hopping on a call with you, you just have to do the discovery better. And that can only be done through what? What did I say? It's through framing. You need to come with that doctor frame. I'm the expert. I know what marketing is. You don't know shit. I'm going to educate you. When you come with that frame, that's when the prospects take you seriously.
So I have to ask better questions.
Yes, ask better questions. Your questions are shit. Guys, well, one thing to add, Joanne. I'm going to use Noah. We'll use you as an example. Noah, when it comes to framing, obviously you're relatively new. So when it comes to sales, when it comes to framing, would you say that your frame sometimes needs work?
Yes.
If you had made millions of dollars, would you ever even think about framing or struggle on framing?
I don't think so.
There is technically no actual difference because the prospect has no idea how much money you have or have not made. They just see you as the individual that you are. How you hold yourself on a call, it reflects whatever the fuck you want it to say. Make sense? Right? So you need to hold your, like, the way that you speak, you iterate, the questions that you ask, all dictate or facilitate a view to the prospect about who you are and how you handle the objections and questions and so on and so forth, right? That will decide in the prospect said how good you are, how much are you worth, so on and so forth. As an example, way back when, people used to ask me if I can do stuff for free. And then all of a sudden, as I got better, that got dropped and dropped and dropped and dropped and dropped because people did not associate free with me. But then the only difference was on the handling and how I hold myself. But I'm not special. Anybody, like, I don't say any, like, if a Tom can do it, so can Harry, so can Bella. Yeah, sorry. Jawad, sorry, Karen.
Yeah. And it also comes back to the point I made earlier is you have to tell them I'm the expert. Sometimes some prospects need to hear that. I'm the marketing expert, not you. Just like I won't teach you how to list houses on the market, I don't expect you to start educating me on marketing. Sometimes you have to tell prospects that to do that positioning. Because you need to sometimes remind them and reframe their mindset. Now, do you want to do that on every single call? Not necessarily, Because if you set your frame right from the very get-go as the expert, you won't need to do that. You won't need to repeat it. Okay? What was the other objection? Did somebody say who deals with I need to think about it? That's my favorite one. Who deals with that? I saw Maya put up her hand. Maya, you
Yeah,
there?
yeah, happened to
Okay.
me many times.
Okay, let's do a quick role play. How do you deal with that? Look, Amin's having a party. There's like balloons and shit popping up. Okay, Maya, okay. I'm gonna be the prospect. You're trying to close me. What's your niche industry? What is it? It's
Home improvement.
home improvement, okay. Same thing. Okay, let's just go. Let's go with it. Do the price drop. Is there anything you do before the price drop? I need to know this.
Like before, I ask if they have any concerns before we move on to the pricing,
Okay. Okay.
just to be
Okay.
sure if I handle.
Okay. Let's just hop into role play. Ask me that question, and then we'll do the price drop and see how this goes. Okay, let's go.
Okay, so which concerns do you have regarding our program?
I mean, from what I hear, it's a perfect fit. I think we could just. How much does it cost? That's like the main thing, right? That's the main concern here.
Okay, we will move on to the pricing in a minute, but I just wanted to make sure that you understand everything correctly and that you can see the value of our service.
Yeah, I see the value. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so let's move on to the pricing, blah, blah, blah. And now, like, should I say the pricing or?
Yeah. Look, we're in role play. You need to say the pricing. Or this is
Okay.
not like we're not playing around here. So you need to give me like the actual pricing of your actual service and act like this is a real scenario.
Okay, so an investment to start working with us today is $1,000 setup fee. It goes to our team for setting everything up. And after that, we charge $33. No, sorry. After that, we have $33 per day, which goes to Google or Facebook for running the ads. We don't touch the money, it goes straight to the platform. And lastly, we charge $800 retainer model at the end of the month.
Okay. Well, I like everything I've heard, but I need to think about it.
And what exactly do you need to think about?
Okay, this is the worst. I'm gonna just call it out. This is by far one of the worst ways of tackling this objection. I don't
Okay.
know who's teaching this. I've seen some guys on YouTube trying to teach this. A bald guy, to be specific. Just joking. Just calling him out. But it's wrong. It's just simply wrong. First things first, let's reverse all the way back to before price dropping. You were along the right lines, but you were asking the wrong questions. First of all, do you have any concerns? Do you understand the value of the service? What's a better question? What can condense? Always remember, guys, less is more. The less words you can get the same message across in, that's better as a salesperson. The better question, and by the way, guys, this one question has generated me over $2 million, no bullshit. Do you want to know what that statement is? Aside from the money, is there anything you need to think about? I'm going to repeat that. Aside from the money, is there anything you need to think about? Who knows why this statement works? Somebody put up their hand. Get active, guys. What are you guys like sleeping? I know some of you are writing this shit down, but like,
Come on,
yes, I
guys.
mean,
Yeah, so if you tell them and they say no, except from the price, there's nothing to think about, you would only need to handle like the price objection and they can't tell you another objection about the servers.
exactly. You're basically cornering them into one objection. And if they do later on bring up any other objections, you call them out on their bullshit. And you become yes, you can be harsh with them. I've literally called out a prospect and we got into a fight and we fought for like 20 minutes and then he ended up pulling his credit card out and paying. So yes, you can be harsh because he brought up another objection and I said, so were you lying to me when you said this? And then it went on his ego, right? So he was gonna fight me. So we argued for like 20 minutes. But what's the point? It's to corner them to one objection. So you ask them before the price drop, aside from the money, is there anything you need to think about? Once they say no, and then you do the price drop, and then they say, I need to think about it, then you say, hey, Amin, would it be safe for me to assume that what you need to think about is the money? Because earlier, when I asked you, boom, 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 you said no. And then you handle the money objection. And you're only left with one objection. Once you overcome this one small hurdle, it's game over from there. And you've gotten the sale. That's essentially how you overcome that objection. Once I learned this, I never dealt with any other objection after that, except for the money one. And overcoming the money one is actually a lot easier than people think. You can sell to the most broke people and they will pay. I've had people ask their brother for money. And this was only like a month ago, guys. So I'm not talking about a long time ago. So let's tackle that objection too, because that was one that came up. Someone not having money. Who wants to give that a try? Who wants to be on the hot seat? Come on, guys.
I can do it.
Okay. Yeah. So I don't have the money. Just take it from there. I'm just being upfront with you. I don't have the money. How do you deal with it?
Well, Jawad, I completely understand you. But do you think that the solution that we will give you won't give you much money that you actually invest in the system?
Yeah.
So would it be wrong that if you invest in this system, the amount that we actually show you like be beneficial from you? Like, yeah, I just
Like, it could be beneficial, but what's like the guarantee? I don't know what you're really trying to get at here. Like, I don't have the money. So, like, again, if it's even worth it, I don't have the money. So who knows what the problem was with how we tried to handle it? First, let's go there, and then let's go to the actual solution. Yeah, Noah, what's up?
You was referring back to kind of the value you're getting when you said that price was the biggest concern.
Guys, this is what's called 1950s selling. It's done. You can no longer sell people based off the benefits. You sell people based off of the why. Why do they want your service? Okay. So why does someone want your service? That's the biggest thing. You have to make them realize why they want your service. They will tell you in the discovery why they need your service. I need my business to be doing XYZ so I can feed my family. You need to do a better job in the discovery and bring that why back when they say things like, I don't have the money. I literally asked someone this on a call. I was selling to insurance agents. It was a different offer. I literally looked him on Zoom in the eyes like this. And I said, what's more important? Your kid's university or a $4,000 one-time investment? And I just stared at him and I just stayed quiet. He ended up buying. Because when he has to equate two things which are unequatable, I left him no choice but to choose the $4,000. It's all about framing. It's all about framing. So don't get it messed up. Yes, someone might not have the money. We're not trying to like make money appear out of thin air into their bank account. But if someone really wants to buy, they will buy. But it comes back to your confidence. Like, I know I put you on the hot seat, but as a salesperson, all of you should be ready to be on the hot seat 24/7. That's how you become a good salesperson. You need to be able to communicate 24/7, 7 days a week. And you need to be able to, guys, you can say the biggest bullshit, but say it with confidence and people will buy. You don't believe me? I sold someone this with this line. He said, your price is too high. I don't have money. You're too expensive. I'm going to look at the competition. I said the most bullshit line to him. I said, it's expensive because this is what it costs to work with the best. And I just shut up. And the guy paid. Because I just said it with confidence. 99% of the game is up here. Most of you've lost here. So you're losing the rest of the game. 99% is here. It's in your mind and then it's in your body. What Ismael was saying. Everything is body language. If I come off like, yeah, please buy my service, and we're trying, and testimonial. If I'm talking like this, nobody's gonna buy from me. Versus, I'm clear, my body is moving, I'm awake. There's two different things, guys. Remember, you need to have that framing, and then you need to be able to say what you're saying with utmost confidence. Yes, Ismail.
I want to add a little metaphor, and then there's Ethan's call after this. So what you guys have to understand is one way to view life. This is genuinely how I view it, right? I truly believe the whole world has my money. For some reason, it's been given to them, and it's now time to collect one by one by one, right? So let's say I hop into a call with Amin. My goal is not, I need Amin to buy my product. I need him to blah, blah, blah. My goal is, he has my money. I need my money back. Right? Like that's the attitude. Now I'm going to compare this to my classic metaphors, which is ladies. Now, looking at this call, I can guarantee all of you are either currently or have been in the friend zone. Right? So I've never been put in the friend zone ever. Like it's not possible. Right? And the reason for this is because I'm clear about my intention. Yes, makes it impossible to be in the friend zone. One girl said it was in the one lady once told me that we were in the friend zone. And I said, we can pretend that we're in the friend zone, but I'm going to imagine all the wonderful thoughts I want to, so on and so forth, so on and so forth. Quickly got out of the friend zone, right? You guys aren't like, it's not, please buy it. It's, you have my money and we're going to stay on this call and I'm going to go down every path until you give me my money. I will then provide you a spectacular service. But the attitude is, no, you're joining. No, you're joining. No, you're joining. That's the attitude that you need to have. When they say why, because I know the results. And you stay on it. They in your head, you will not end that call until they fuck off. Right? They will join you. You have decided this, and you will keep them on the call to either they fuck off or they pay you money. That is the attitude that you will have and need to have in order to close deals and succeed. Make sense? All right.
And the fastest way to do that is what? What did I tell you guys? First, make them picture the dream outcome. They're getting 10 to 15 leads. They're closing them. Their family's happy. And then take it away. In one go, just take it all away. By asking them, well, what happens if we don't move today? Are you willing to live another day knowing there's a solution out there? Are you willing to look your kids and your family in the eyes knowing that you could solve this? But you're not. Guys, guilt makes people buy anything. Make them guilty, yeah. Because if you genuinely believe in your solution, which I'm assuming you do, that's why you're running a business, then yes. Ask them, how would that make them feel? And trust me, they will buy. All right, I think that covers all the major ones. Which one did I leave? There was one missing. There was one objection I missed. Someone mentioned an objection.
About the testimonials.
Yes, that was the one. So, what does that objection usually sound like? I want to see an example of what that sounds like. What would they usually say?
Yeah, I understand your solution, your program, but I just want to see how it went for the other people that you work with, for instance.
Okay. Who has an idea? So I'm not gonna do a role play for this one because it's a bit of a tougher one. So I'm not expecting anybody to be able to come on the hot seat and actually handle it. But who has an idea of what they would say, or what have you tried? If someone has tried something, come on, give me something, guys. Stefan, did you ever deal with this?
I personally hadn't that objection yet, but I would probably do like something like, yeah, I completely understand it, but in the past we had a lot of other people waste times of clients from me, and they would jump on a call and just then didn't become a client from me, and I don't want to waste the time of my clients. So maybe that road.
Okay. Abu Bakr, any ideas on how you would handle that?
Maybe you say something like, "Oh, we used to do this before, but due to data protection or them not wanting to talk about it, we can't anymore."
Retarded.
What?
He called you out. That's why I'm laughing. Okay.
That's okay.
Can
Noah,
I
give
try?
it.
Can I try?
Okay, yeah, Alonso, yeah.
Yeah, I would say no, I can't.
Pardon me?
I would say they say, okay, can you show me how did it work for the other companies that you work with? No, I can't. Just that.
Why can't you?
Look, I used to do this, but when my clients receive a call, it's usually me sending a lead, me sending some business, me sending money. No, and if I try to sell somebody else by using them as a tool, they will get mad at me. So I can't do that.
Okay, so who sees a trend here? What's the trend, guys? How are they handling it? Maya, what's the trend? What trend are you seeing in all of these attempts?
It's like blocking them. I don't know, like not revealing all the information or something.
Okay. Adam, what would you say is a trend? Find the trend. There's a trend being created here. As salespeople, by the way, you need to be able to identify trends, good trends, bad trends. If you can't, you won't learn from your own sales calls.
I don't know. I think
I mean, what's a trend? There's literally a trend. Almost everybody said one statement. Think about it. What was that one statement? Almost everyone said it in maybe different wording, but the statement was the same. What's the trend? You need to be able to identify trends. I mean, give it a shot. Think critically. I'm putting you on the spot.
They said that they can't.
They said that they can't. Okay. Do you want to know why that is possibly one of the worst? Who could tell me why that's one of the worst ways to handle an objection? Especially this specific objection. I'm talking about this objection specifically. Well, who knows why it's a very bad way?
because you actually could showing them that you probably don't have any clients for good results.
Noah?
Yeah, trying to get more conviction that your program is working. And by just saying we can do it, they are feeling like they lose a bit of confidence in the program.
Okay, so this is how you overcome it. Okay, this is literally, it's possibly one of the easiest ways to overcome it. Sorry, I just saw chat. I missed. I have to say, well, how can I know that your service will actually perform? I need to see. Okay. Okay, so there's two ways of handling this. One is the honest way and one's the dishonest way. The dishonest, to tackle that first, is what all of you did. Is that, well, we have it, but we can't show it. Look, if you're going to be dishonest, at least have some level of conviction in your dishonesty. And what I mean by that is, don't say, oh, we can't share it, it's privacy. It's just saying, like, you could literally just say to them, and this might sound like absolute bullshit to you, but if you're going to be dishonest, you just have to be 100% convicted when it comes to what you're actually saying. And sometimes it's just telling them, like, you know, I'm showing you the results that we're getting. This is what you're going to get. Is it really going to change anything if you speak to someone? You're seeing the results, you're seeing what's right in front of you. And then that's when you sort of isolate the objection and then you handle it. But there's a better way of handling it when you don't have objections. Who knows what that is? It's the most obvious one. It is the most obvious one. What's the honest way of handling it? And by the way, this is how I ran my agency for the first 2 months. And I signed 10 clients in 2 months. This is my first agency ever, back in 2018, 2019. Who knows?
By giving them a free, by giving them a
Tell
free
them,
trial.
I don't have a fucking test. Just say it. And believe it or not, people will still give you a shot. Why? Because they want to see conviction. All you have to do is, look, guys, you just have to tell them sometimes what it is. And it's because you have this complex that you need to have testimonials. That's where the issue lies. The issue is not that you don't have testimonials. The issue is that you feel like you need to have testimonials to sell them. It comes back to framing. And you can frame it with honesty and still sell them. How do you do that? Hey, Amin, look, I don't have the testimonials because this company itself, it's newer. However, our service providers have been in business for 8 years. The ones who will be running your ads have been running ads for 8 years. And they are the ones that have the track record. Now what you've done is you're showing them that you have the expertise on board with you. And people will buy if you show them that you have the experts. They don't buy when they think, I mean, again, if you're at the end of the day, you are the expert, right? I mean, to answer your question. Unmute for a second. Just so, what's your question? Could you clarify that again?
Yeah, so you can only tell them that the people that work for them, like they will deliver, they really have 8 years of expertise if they really have. But if you do everything yourself, what then?
Yeah, you just tell them you have the expertise that it takes to deliver the service.
So you just say,
So
they say,
you,
yeah,
you
show me a
don't.
test.
So you don't need to necessarily, 8 years again was just an example. That's like obviously an example of like, hey, you know, my media buyer has 8 years of experience. That's obviously me giving an example, right? But it's the point is that when you come with that, okay, and you say that to them, It's to make them realize you have the expertise. Because when you have the expertise, and to show them that you'll go above and beyond because of the fact that you're looking to prove yourself. The real thing is, do you have the hunger? Lucky for me, I'm like the type who has high energy. If you couldn't already tell, I'm like crazy high energy all the time. And because of that, that hunger, it like transfers on sales calls. Like if you notice, my body's always involved when I'm talking. Because of this, that conviction, it just goes through on calls like these. And because of that, even if I don't have experience, I could still close someone. Because even if I don't know anything about service delivery, I'll still show them that I'm over the top hungry to be able to overcome it. That's the honest way of overcoming it. You just tell them, I have the expertise that you're looking for. And you do that by showing them that you know technical stuff, which is what? Showing them outcomes, showing them numbers, showing them what you're basing them off of. And that comes through in your presentation. Right? And then you actually show them the rest through your tonality and voice. I'm assuming there's another call. My phone keeps blowing up. Is there another call?
Jawad, please stop the call.
Yeah.
Chickens, please go to the call. The link is provided in the WhatsApp group or here in the chat. Ethan is
Okay.
awaiting. It's
Pardon
very
me?
sad. Other sales coaches, awaiting them. You got so much.
That's what I'm saying. Guys, you guys have to hop on the other one. Go, go, go.